So you're wondering if we are about to have another real estate crash. Are we going to have a repeat of the Great Recession in '07 and '08? Some media people and a lot of attention seekers online, they're practically begging for this real estate crash. I see it every single day. So we're going to share some data that's going to clarify what's going on with the real estate market nationally, and then stick with me for the whole video. And at the end, I'm going to bring it all home and talk about what's happening here in Murfreesboro. So let's get started. Here's the truth. Barring something that causes the entire economy to go down, the housing market is not going to crash. The truth is that today's market is different than it was in 2008. Look at this graph of the historical data from the Mortgage Credit Availability Index. What that is, that's a barometer that talks about the supply of mortgage credit that's available to consumers. So you can see that red dot on the top left corner of that graph. That's showing that mortgage credit was very, very easy to get back in 2007, 2008. And the lower number there, the 103.2 showing now, it's much, much more difficult to get a loan. They've tightened the lending standards. And what that means is back then, there were lots of folks who probably shouldn't have gotten loans who were able to get them. And then they defaulted on those loans, which led to foreclosures. So that takes us right into our second thing, which is foreclosure starts. So if you look on a national level, here's another chart that shows the number of foreclosure starts from the first quarter of 2007 through the fourth quarter of 2010. And then you look at what's happened from the first quarter of 2019 to the fourth quarter of last year. You can see on the left, definitely always near or over 300,000 foreclosure starts back during the Great Recession. Well, right now we are well below 100,000 foreclosure starts. So that is really good news. And why is that? So if you look at that foreclosure supply, there is also just an incredible amount of equity that people have in their home. So folks are not people get behind on their payments. They're able to sell their home and get out of it. I used to do real estate back in 2007, all through the Great Recession. We did tons of short sales. A short sale is called a short sale because your payoff is more than what the sale of the property is going to bring. It's going to be short of what's owed on that mortgage. Well, right now, because people's homes have gone up in value so much, even when someone's behind on their mortgage, they're still able to sell and get cash back and put cash in their pocket at the sale. There are very, very, very few short sales going on right now. So if you look at home price gains, back in 2007, just as the housing bubble was getting ready to pop, there was $1.3 trillion of equity in U.S. homes. Well, now today, that has almost tripled. There's $3.1 trillion of equity in homes today. So that means that folks are in a really good position. And if times get tight, they can borrow against their home or they can sell the home and pull that cash out. And then you add to that another factor that means we're not going to have this crash that lots of influencers are trying to will into existence, is you look at the average month's supply of homes for sale in the United States. Take a look at this chart. 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, every one of them had more than 8.5 months of homes for sale. That is the definition of a buyer's market, that there's 7 months of inventory or more. Well, right now, you look at 19, 20, 21, 22, all of them are below 4 months of inventory. And if you look in last year and this year, those are below 3. So that is an extreme seller's market when those numbers are that low. That means that the inventory does not last. It sells very quickly. All right, so I promised you that I was going to bring this all home with talking about Murfreesboro. So let's start with the average sales price in Murfreesboro. You can see us from this chart, even though prices have come back down a little bit, if you bought your house in 20 or 21, you've got over $100,000 in additional equity in your house. If you bought it in 2022, you still have additional equity, even with it having gone up and come back down. So we have tons of equity in homes in Murfreesboro. Nobody should be in trouble as far as that goes, which when people talk about the housing crash, the catalyst for it is when folks are behind on their payments and they can't afford to sell their home because they owe more than that home is worth. And as you can see, that is clearly not the case in Murfreesboro. Add to that the level of inventory that's available in Murfreesboro of homes for sale. So if you look at the months of inventory that are available, the last time we were above 4 was in 2020. That was during COVID, right? So since then, we've been hovering at 3 or lower. Last year, that plummeted at the beginning of the year, plummeted all the way down below 1 month of inventory. And right now, we are at about 2.5 months of inventory in Murfreesboro. That means the homes are flying off the shelf as soon as they can get on the market. So that is a good sign of a market that's moving, which means it is very unlikely to crash. Check out this next chart with population in Murfreesboro. Our population has been rising exponentially for many, many years. If you look at our population right now in Murfreesboro, there is almost 166,000 people here right now, and that's up from 153-ish thousand people back in 2020. So what that means is we are up 8.5% or 13,000 people moving to Murfreesboro. The entire market of Murfreesboro, only about 4,500 homes or less sell each year. So if you're increasing the population by 3 times the number of sales, that means you are having more demand. Houses will be selling quicker. Murfreesboro is in better shape than other parts of the country in that we have so much movement here, and houses on the market are still selling, less than 2 months of inventory at a time, and the values keep going up and the people keep coming in. That's a good thing for the real estate market in terms of values going up and not crashing as some people hope it will. And the final chart I want to show you is homes for sale. If you look at that, it kind of mirrors a little bit the available inventory, but you can see that the number of homes on the market has been going down even as the population has been going up. That means that we need a bigger supply of homes in the market. If you're thinking of selling your home, this is the time to do it because there is a demand, but there is not a supply. Inventory is extremely low and selling very quickly. So it's something that, again, another sign that our market is super strong and not in any danger of a collapse or a crash of any kind. So just to wrap things up, the national real estate market in general is in good shape. It is not looking like it's going to crash. All of the fundamentals are sound. We showed you the numbers where we can see that this is not going to be a repeat of the Great Recession and the market crash back in 2007 and 2008. And then when we looked at the numbers for Murfreesboro, Murfreesboro is even better shape than the average nationally. So Murfreesboro is in incredible shape. It's a great time to buy a house because the population continues to increase, values continue to go up, and it's a great time to be a homeowner in Murfreesboro. So if you are interested in learning more about the Murfreesboro market, please let us know. We're happy to help.